Hello, this is Cowenleetin, and today I'm going to give you a clinic on bearings. Bearings are a very important part of your board, yet a lot of people misunderstand them, and they're kind of confusing. So hopefully I'll clear up some confusion you had with bearings today. The bearing, if you don't know where they are, they're located inside the wheel. What they do is the truck mounts into the goes through the bearing, and they reduce the friction in between the axle and the wheel, which allows your wheel to spin. So bearings. Okay. When you go out to shop for bearings, the first thing you're gonna look at is their ABEC rating. The ABEC rating is a very deceiving way to look at bearings because they vary from different brands. But the ABEC rate scale goes up to 9, so it's 1 through 9, and the higher the bearing, the common perception is the higher the ABEC, the better the bearing, but that's not necessarily true, because the ABEC, all it means is the how much force it can take before it gives. So like, if you mechanically spin this, how fast will this spin until it gives? That's the ABEC scale. And since your board never reaches goes anywhere near the top speed of a bearing, the ABEC rating is a very deceiving scale. But it does just give you a general idea on how well the bearing will ride. But to be able to know that, you'll have to know specifics about the bearing. The first thing you gotta know, well, you don't really have to know, but the first thing you should know is the type of lubricant they use in the bearing. Because, as you can see, the bearing has these balls in it. And if you didn't, and what you need to do, the bearings come with a lubricant in here. And what that does is allow the balls to move into the racetrack without much friction. And there's two main types of lubricants you'll find in bearings. First one's oil-based, which is what you'll find in most bearings, and you find these in Indies. The next is gel-based, which is what you find in built-ins. The difference between the two is oil you'll go farther with one push with oil. So, you'll go farther with the oil-based bearing, but you'll go faster with a gel-based bearing, with a gel-based lube. So naturally, if you're racing, you probably want a gel-based lubricant. And if you're just doing free ride, you probably want a oil-based lubricant. The next thing that you want to look at is those shields and the way they're configured. There's three different walls. The first type of wall is the sealed wall, and what it does is all the different types of walls protect the balls from the bearing from dirt and stuff. So the seal is the best at protecting it, but the downside to having a sealed wall is you can't take this wall out. So if you have a double seal, that means which means that you have a seal on both sides. That means once it gets dirty, you can't clean it, and so once you ruin this bearing with dirt, or you lose your lubricant from water, you're gonna have to buy a new set of bearings. It's impossible to clean these ones. You'll find these with a mix of just about everything. You can find these with a shield on one side and a seal on the other, open on one side and the seal on the other. Just about anything. The next one is a shield, which is just looks like this. It's a thin little shield of tin, and it goes over the track like this. And the difference between this and the sealed wall is the shield is removable, and so what that means is that more dirt will get into it. It's more susceptible to getting the bearing dirty. Yet you could take this thing off and clean it. So theoretically, these bearings can last forever if you have a wall. I mean, if you have a shield, or if you have one open side. But remember that these will get dirty a little bit quicker than having a sealed edge. But you don't have to worry about that because a lot of times they come with one shield and one seal. And so all you have to do is mount the shielded side inside the inside your wheel and leave the sealed side out. Next is a open wall, and what that is there's no protection to the bearing balls in the bearing. You'll find this usually, like very rarely will you not find this, is that you'll find the this paired up with a seal on the other, just because there's literally no protection on this side. And so what you're going to do is mount this on the inside of the wheel and have the sealed edge, sealed wall protecting the outside. And so what this does is just makes it easier to clean because you don't have to take out a shield. Because if you have a shield on your bearing, once you pop these out, if you bend them or dent them, they're basically not usable again. And so, but you can ride without a shield if you have a shielded bearing. But I mean, that's why most bearings now come with a open wall, because it just makes it easier because you don't have to open the bearing. And once again, theoretically, these will last forever, but I mean, very rarely will that happen because since once again the seal doesn't protect it against everything because it can get dented. If the seal gets dented just like the shield, then the balls in the bearing will not spin, and that's even worse than having it dirty. So I mean, theoretically they can last forever, but if you dent the seal, it's donezo. Next thing you probably want to look at is the